Cedar Point Dead Right Cemetery 2022 video. Start with the tombstones here on the right. We have Whitewater Landing, which is the former water ride that is where Maverick and Cedar Point is today. Vertigo was a flat ride closed in 2001. Swan Boats is similar to a paddle wheel boat or type, not specifically a paddle wheel boat, but like a type of boat system like you would have in like Walt Disney World Resort in Florida. It's like paddle boats or pedal boats that you have with your feet. You would move it. So that's what Swan Boats are similar to. Ran from 1996 to 2003. Wild Mouse was a former roller coaster operated at Cedar Point. Skywheel is a former name or so of the Ferris wheel, 1964 and 1980. French Frolics is another type of like flat ride attraction. Paddle wheel excursions was the boat ride of Cedar Point, similar to the Mark Twain riverboat that they would have at the Magic Kingdom. Walt Disney World operated from 1964 to 2011, so a huge amount of time. Earthquake was an indoor funhouse type attraction where not the essentially the full original palace or the theater, the main midway of Cedar Point is, but where the Snoopy Boutique can be part of the palace building, since not all of it was used for that funhouse. And to your left was the specific transportation system that went from the end of the main midway, I guess in a former station area over there, to where currently the Frontier Town Station is still standing. That's used for employee stuff, whatever they do with it, but they kept the original unload station or attraction station for that skylift, similar to the skylift that they have at the front of the park at Cedar Point Main Midway. Operated from 1968 to 1985. Over here, made a replica of one of the lift gondola cars that's old enough that it's fully made out of plywood and painted blue over the years. And you got this roof to be more sturdier, so it's not all gonna fall off or anything anymore, so that's pretty good. We got a nice little skeleton right here, a dummy skeleton that sits in the old attraction. And over the years, I guess how one of my family members tried to make sure that the Cedar Point name on stuck, but I guess that wasn't waterproof or laminated properly or whatever. The paper of the Cedar Point logo on it degraded or got older over the time and fell apart. We still have number 8 on it, representing the car number. Now, Mill Race is another former Cedar Point water ride. Again, like I said earlier about Whitewater Landing, Cedar Point Toll used to have 2 original water rides. This is the second one. Mill Race is the similar doing water ride. If you think of Coal Cracker at Hershey Park, imagine if you had 2 of those next to each other, going side by side. That's what Mill Race was. There's also this attraction operated from 1963 to 1993. Besides operation, it's where Raptor currently stands, say the inverting roller coaster. Over here, we have Swashbuckling, which was another ride, not much of the history of, operated from 1970 to 2002. That has the pumpkins and decor out here. I finally did make the Wicked Twister tombstone up here, so that's good. Since I didn't see it before, since I didn't add that for the last time, we were at Dead Right Cemetery last year, 2021, before pre-COVID and everything. But yeah, Wicked Twister adds now to the Dead Right Cemetery, and it's operated from 2002 to 2021, so that's essentially similar to other Cedar Point attractions. Had a long operating season, and a lot of people weren't happy with it going away, but I think it's because Cedar Point management and Cedar Fair corporate management thought that, based on what we've seen about news releases and everything, that's better to put a restaurant there to replace an iconic attraction. So yeah, long operating season for this iconic attraction that a lot of people were mostly unhappy about them removing. And Funhouse was essentially the other Cedar Point like walk through like Funhouse type of attraction, operated from 1966 to 1981, shorter operating season. It was long enough, 15 years or so. Yeah, it was my best estimate how long they've done this attraction for. Not as long as their attractions, but enough that this attraction was similar to Earthquake. Now, the difference between this is, I guess, Earthquake was tilted, similar to like if you've been to the similar to like, well, now it's in a wax museum, but like more of the like weird oddie place that's in Orlando, that weird emporium place, I forget the full name of it, but that's what Earthquake is supposed to be. It was a house like tilted on its side, you walk through and feels like the house is leaning and everything, so disturbed earthquakes. That was the nice original attraction that they used to have. 0 Point, making this idea similar to that Funhouse attraction, the Tombstone I showed earlier. Now we got the iconic, more dummy skeletons that this year added them sitting on a bale of hay. Of course, the one guy doesn't have his hat like he normally does, even though it's a Western theme, just because the hat will fall off with a high wind. Our guy doesn't need any clothing. He still has his original bandana scarf. And the iconic sign made of Boneville, the population down, the slash marks in it. The pumpkins in the front. Let's see, Dead Right Cemetery. Now, of course, the one we didn't include was, besides Wicked Twister, was Thrill Dragster, because the whole thing with the rumors, and so people are saying, a number of people saying it's getting permanently scrapped because of the number of track. We've seen people's update videos on the season of the park when they closed that attraction last year and started doing renovation or whatever work on this attraction during the middle of this year of 2022 season at Cedar Point. And these people's update videos are saying because they took out these number of like specific sections of track, brake run track, station track, and doing stuff with the queue line, whatever. The number of people thinking that they're permanently getting rid of the attraction, even though they haven't really got rid of the launch fins or the launch full mechanism and system of that attraction. Also, that just you don't know what's actually happening to the attraction. Those people saying the attraction's gonna be permanently closed, scrapped, and there's another people are against this opinion, saying that the attraction is being fully renovated, significant changes are happening, and that's a different opinion as people are expressing. There are people that oppose, the people that are essentially saying that the Thrill Dragster attraction is being permanently closed. We'll have to wait and see. Tombstone doesn't add yet to see about what's actually happened to the attraction, but Wicked Twister is, and that's where from there. But also a smaller attraction that deserves a Tombstone at some point would be the former, my opinion, lame Cadillac cars, the old time cars that are in the back of the park in Frontier Town, because that was a smaller track and course. We go through the covered bridge, it still remains there today. The track, you go from like, the load unload station around a few turns through the bridge and stuff, versus the Cadillac cars, old time cars at the front of the park. That one and those cars specifically go through a much bigger track, more turns, go past underneath Raptor in that area in front of the park, and you essentially go through the covered bridge twice, which is a much more bigger track and has a capacity of much more people than the one they got rid of in the back of the park. We have to make a Tombstone for that, but as far as again Wicked Twister, to wait and see about if it's being reimagined fully. I told you about those people before saying that the attraction, some people think the attraction's going through that state of renovation or reworking. Other people are saying the attraction's permanently closed. So I have to wait and see. And one more look. Dead Right Cemetery this year, with the addition of Wicked Twister's Tombstone down there.